qualifiers. Wow! Who wants to go to Iceland? I was sitting next to Chris Cooper. He said, wow, we already got so many. I can imagine 2 more months how many Iceland qualifiers we need to take them to Iceland. And I tell him, it is a good problem to have. And maybe we can one day beat other regions to have the most qualifiers for the incentive trip. Would that be okay? Yes! By the way, there are many members outside of APEC countries are very jealous of you guys. They want to go to Iceland as well. So let's give a round of applause to ourselves and to our management. Well, as the beautiful host had introduced me, my background is a financial advisor. I actually born and grew up in Taiwan, and after I finished my high school, I live in Los Angeles, and a blink of eyes, it has been almost 30 years, so you can guess my age. After high school, plus 30, that is my age. But I certainly do not look like my age, and thanks to Jeanette. I know the people who clap hands are the people who recognized me 8 years ago. Okay, I did not look like this 8 years ago. And it is the products, the environment, and the US dollars, and the community combined to make me who I am today. So the topic today is called New Discoveries. Because as you see the people, the top leaders sitting at the front row, I'm sure it's not what you see from outside about their success, their ranking, or even the income that they have been made. I truly believe it is what is going on inside them to give them the inner strength in order to get to the top. How many of you really want to get to the top in a short period of time? How many of you? Is that a problem to go to the top? Can we have more excitement in this room?
Yes!
Do I really need t-shirts?
Yes!
But what if, let's make a deal. What if I have a way to show you so that you can buy as many t-shirts as possible? Would that be okay? You guys are very cute, very practical. So, I truly believe in order to get to the top, inside you have to go through some exercise. And today, the presentation is for any one of you. It doesn't matter you are new to gymnastics or you have been gymnastics for a while. I truly want to bring you what has been going on inside me in the last 10 years of journey. Because as I build this market, I have to travel internationally. I have the honors to meet many different types of individuals. It doesn't matter about which country you are from. I think fundamentals, we all want more in life. So I notice, I observe, why there's a group of individuals, they can get to the top in a short period of time. On the other hand, there's also a group of individuals, they work hard, they do work hard. But somehow, maybe they miss the direction, or sometimes they run into some challenges that they cannot see the clear picture. So today, if any one of you, doesn't matter how long you have been with us, if you do want to go to the top, today the presentation is for you. So to me, there are 3 steps to find your new horizon, to have the new discovery. And that all me. I used to be a financial professional. I worked very hard. But even with the hardworking individual, I thought I was doing well. But boy, only until I get into gymnast families, I realized work and life can be so much fun. You can enjoy the process. You can truly believe that you also deserve the good life. And in the process of doing that, we have that privilege to be able to extend the help, the assistance, the sharings to the people around you. So there are 3 steps if you want to also join us. Not only join us to the Iceland, but also join us to have a truly quality life with the purpose, with the meaning, the 3 steps are for you. The first step is you need to, first of all, you got to design your tomorrow. That tomorrow could be 5 years later, could be 10 years later, could be tomorrow. The second step, you have to embrace some values. Because in these communities, who are we? We are entrepreneurs. If you want to make the money, enjoy the success as an entrepreneur, you do need to embrace the values that is being created and being believed by most of the entrepreneurs around the world. The third step you need to do is you need to live the design. Design is not a noun. It has to be a verb. So these are the three steps that I would like to share that with you. In Chinese, it's basically 国法, 心法, and 做法. This is a combo arrangement. Unless you go through these 3 steps, you will not be able to have a clear picture in this journey. Because I do hope each one of you in this room that you can end the height and deliver your dream, realize your dream in a short period of time. So let's talk about design your tomorrow. Ask yourself, what is the lifestyle I want my family to have? If you read my sentence carefully, I did not say what is the lifestyle I want to have. Very recent, I lead a group of 500 entrepreneurs internationally to do an exercise. I asked them to write down, what do you want to have? You know, most people would say, well, I want financial freedom. I want time freedom. Does that sound familiar to you? Yes. But somehow I feel it's a little bit cliche. It doesn't touch me. Then I changed the question. I asked them, if you get an opportunity, what kind of lifestyle you want your family to have? Ever since I plugged in the family into their new horizons, I see they write down, they read, they shout out the truly life they would like to have. They say, I want to provide the best education to my children. I want to provide my family the best quality of life. And they are very specific. I want to send my kids to certain international schools. I want to be able to bring my parents to travel around the world. And I even want to have certain cars, certain income with specific numbers. So I ask you, if you want to have a tomorrow, don't write down the general goals. Write down something that touches you. Write down something you can feel, you know what, I get excited when I read it. So that is the guideline. I encourage all of you, when you go home, do this exercise. Have a dream board. Buy the magazine with the picture, with the interior design of the house that you dream to have. And for gentlemen, do you like cars? Oh, I heard women like cars this day too. Okay, so you can cut down the ideal dream car of yours to put it on your dream board. Because trust me, every day if you read your goals, your dreams, and read and see your dream cards, you are going to have a relationship with your dream. And you will be much faster to realize your dreams. The second principle to design your tomorrow is, after you know what you want to have, now close your eye and ask yourself, what options do I have right now? If without changing a bit, that your current job or your current business outside the gymnast would truly provide you the lifestyle that you want your family to have. You know, you don't have to work in gymnast. You can just be a great consumer. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. But I believe 90% of the people, when they truly write down the dream life they want to have, suddenly they realize if they don't make any changes, they cannot get to the lifestyle they want to have. So the reason I want you to check your reality, because I want you to know by being on this platform, it is truly the only option and the best option you have. Sometimes I say working is like a religion. It's not the religion of going to church or going to temple. That's not what I meant. But when you truly love your work, it has to be like a religion. Because you believe what is called religion. It means the outside environment will not be able to change you. When you truly believe this is the best option I can have for my families, you don't care if other people say this is not going to work. You don't care if other people reject you. You don't care if there's a traffic that you don't want to see your friends. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
I want you to truly embrace and believe this is the best option you can have. So, after you design your tomorrow, you need to embrace the values. If you agree with the values, I'm going to share that with you. The journey will be easy for you. The first value, please, say this with me. I can and I will.
I can and I will.
You know, look at the qualifiers or the diamonds when you attend the international expos. Diamonds are not prettier or handsome than any one of you. Do you agree?
Yes.
Sorry, diamonds. You know, one thing really opened my eyes ever since I joined Jeunesse is I truly witnessed how these platforms can be leveraged by any simple, common, ordinary individual. There is a saying, I may not be better than others, but I'm just as good as others. Yeah. So the very first step you have to do is to believe you can and you will. If there's nothing you learn from today's section, please have that confidence in you. There is a giant living inside you. If you say, I will and I can, don't worry about what your circumstances it is right now. Don't worry about your ranking right now. Don't worry about how many members on your team right now. When you program yourself, say, I can and I will, you are half of the way. So, can you say, I can and I will?
I can and I will.
How many of you would like to be on the stage at the next annual anniversary? How many of you? How many of you want to go diamond at the next anniversaries? I believe you can and you will. The second value you need to embrace is life can be better with my efforts. How many of you, before we join these platforms, we think the life is being set? But one thing I like about this platform is there are always surprises. There are always excitements. But in order for you to really leverage these platforms, you need to put in the efforts. There's a saying, the only factors you can control in life is your effort. Jeunesse has been an amazing platform. We can realize our entrepreneur dreams just by becoming a member. We don't need to worry about the overhead. We don't need to worry about the products. We don't need to worry about the customer services. We don't need to worry about having our own website. Everything is being put together by Jeunesse Global with these robust systems. And all we need to do is put in our time and effort. Does that sound easy? Yes. I have met so many traditional business owners on these platforms. When they truly understanding about Jeunesse business model, about Jeunesse complaint, they were shaking hands. They are shaking their heads. They say, man, I feel my life has been so miserable in my traditional business owner, in the traditional business world compared to Jeunesse. How many of you truly enjoy the life in Jeunesse? How many of you? Hey, until today, I'm humble and blessed. My business has been around 100 countries. But listen carefully, I have 0 staff. I don't have an assistant. I don't have an office. It's just one person. But with the benefit, the privilege to leverage the team, leverage the platform, I'm truly an example of the new paradigm. Thank you. Time has the business has been evolving. In the past, the old 20 years back, when you look at a company CEO, how will you describe a company CEO, a business CEO? Maybe a big suit, a big car, a lot of staff, a lot of assistants, a fancy office. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
But today you are looking at a new CEO of a business. But what I have is the freedom. I don't have the office, I don't have the staff, but what I have, I can breathe the air internationally and still be able to produce. So this is the platform. To me, it's truly a new paradigm. So make your efforts. Are you okay to put in the effort?
Yes.
This is truly a business. You got to put in the effort. If someone tell you, come in, overnight you become rich, don't listen and walk away from the statements. This is a legitimate business. You do need to put in the effort. But with the leverage of the technology, this is a new economy. You are able to condense your efforts, maybe from 30, 40 years in the traditional world into 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years. But all you need to do is put in your efforts. I think this is a very good deal. Is this a good deal?
Yes.
I think it's a pretty good deal. The third value is, what am I willing to give up? If you like the diamond lifestyle, do you like the diamond lifestyle?
Yes.
Do you like the weekly commission of a diamond?
Yes.
Then ask the diamonds, what have they been giving up in exchange for this platform? When I first joined Jeunesse, I have 2 beautiful young daughters. My youngest daughter was less than 1 year old when I joined Jeunesse. And I remember every time I left the house, you know the story. The children always want to know, when are you coming back? So I learned the habits. Whenever I travel, I try not to call home. Why? Because the moment when your baby listens to your voice, they start remember you and they want you. So these are the steps that I have to put in to build my business. And if you ask me, Yvonne, will you do it again? I tell you, I will do it again and again. Because yes, I did work hard in the beginning of the business, but now I travel internationally maybe every 1 month or every 1 and 2 months, about 7 days or 10 days. But look at my schedule. The rest of the times, I can spend the quality time with my 2 children. For those of you who don't know, 5 years ago, I retired my husband. So the lesson today you learn, if you want to retire early, how many men want to retire early today? So 2 methods. One is either you work hard in Jeunesse. The second option is ask your spouse to work hard. You get the same return. So now, my 2 children, one is in high school, one is the 5th grade. All my core leaders, they know, they work with me closely. They know the business time of my day is from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Because in USA, the children finish school, they end their school day around 3 o'clock. So what I do is, my husband and I would drive to pick up the 2 children. And when they come home, we fix some snack or dinners, and then we spend time in the house. So I don't know where in the world you can find this kind of quality life, that the entire family stay together under the same roof from 3 p.m. till the rest of the day. And how I get to this kind of lifestyle is from the sacrifice I made. A short period of the time to sacrifice, and you can exchange for the peace of mind for the rest of your life. I used to be a working professional before Jeunesse. After college, my first job, I'm on the management for a financial service firm in Los Angeles. And I know many, many working professionals. They have sacrificed their time for work for 30 years and 40 years. At the end of the day, they still would not be able to get the quality life they want to have. So I think staying in gymnastics is a pretty good deal. You have imbalanced life for a few years. After that, you still have an imbalanced life. And what I refer to the imbalanced life after success is you travel around the world. You are able to have your own schedule, but you do it out of freedom, you do it out of a choice. So the third step you need to have is you need to live the design. Once you write down the lifestyle you want to have, you want your family to have with the dream board, do you want to put that into a reality? Absolutely. So there are a few guidelines. Number one, you want to be able to identify your wants. You also need to pledge your commitment. Last but not least, you need to equip yourself with the basics. So to identify your wants is very simple. Write down, what do you want in 3 months of time? Because if you know how to deliver, how to meet your goals for the short term, you will know how to meet your goals for the 1 year and 3 years. I know Malaysia just celebrated the greatest month for October. Am I correct?
Yes.
In the back, before we did the Diamond Parade, Chris Cooper told me, hey Yvonne, we just had the best month ever. And I said, Chris, what if we make the month of October to be the same month every single month from this point forward? Would that be okay with you?
Yes.
Hey, it is doable, it is possible. I give you examples. I still remember when I tried to fight for rubies many years ago. How many cycles you need to have to get to ruby?
200.
200 cycles. And I still remember when I get to 100 and then fighting. I think I met my ruby like 2 days before the month's end. So as I watch 190, 191, 192. For those of you who fight the ranking, you know what I refer to, correct? So I say, after I get to ruby, I say to my leader, I say, man, ruby is so hard. I don't even know how to get to diamond because diamond cycle is what? 5 times of the ruby. Well, I gotta tell you, my friends, I only make the statements based on my limited understanding. When you truly believe the power of dream, the power of the platform, I tell you, in a few years, getting ruby is not a 1 month production for me. I'm very blessed. A few years ago, I have maxed out my cycles. You know the max out? Do you know in the comp plan, when they tell you about the max out, you understand max out?
Yes.
How many cycles in the max out? So that means every month with the 5 weeks of the calendar, I have 3,000 cycles a month. Month after month. If you do 3,000 cycles divided by 30 days, how many cycles a day?
30.
Huh? Do you need a calculator? Oh, you are shocked. 3,000 cycles? What is 3,000 cycles divided by 30 days?
100.
Yes, that's my production because the computer limit, I can only cycle 100 a day in Gymnastics Global. The point I try to make is, a few years ago, fighting for ruby in the 30 days of time range is already killing me. But boy, I'm glad I'm with a great leaders. Show me the power of dream, the power of potentials. Now, 200 cycle is just my 2 days work. So I want to use my story to tell you, Malaysia, whatever you did last month, it's not one time. It can be every month. Would that be okay with you? Yes. Whatever, there's no income claim. Whatever you make in October, what if they, with your hard work, with your belief, they can become your weekly income? Would that be okay? Yes. Would that be okay if they become your daily income? Would that be okay? Yes. Someone's heartbeat is moving fast. It is okay. If you don't have the faith, borrow my eyes, borrow my ears, borrow my belief. I know you will and you can. Are you overwhelmed so far?
Yes.
It can be done. You need someone to tell you whatever you experience in the month of October, it can be your monthly activity. You don't need to wait till another new product to hit the production high. With your persistency, with your hard work, it can be done. How many of you would like to fill these rooms? I don't know, we have 600 people in these rooms. What does that make you feel if you bring 600 people from your team to attend our next anniversary? Do you think it's possible? Yes. It starts with you. It is doable. It is possible. You just need to have that belief. And if I can do anything to help you, it's my story. It's not an exemption. It is an example. So identify your wants. The second step, you make sure whatever you write down, you get excited. If you don't have any feelings, that's not your goal. By the way, how many of you in love before? I know someone said, Yvonne, that has been a long, long time. And I hope your spouse is not sitting next to you, okay? So do you still remember the first time you see your future spouse or you see your girlfriend or boyfriend? Do you still remember?
Yes.
Come on, have some fun. Can we have some fun?
Yes.
Choose a little bit.
Yes.
Do I really need t-shirt? Or you rather me teach you how to buy t-shirt? Do you still remember the day you meet your first love?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. These people have a first love. What about this group? Do you have a first love? Do you still remember how you feel at the first eyesight?
Oh.
You feel nervous or you feel excited, correct?
Yes.
I tell you, when you write down your goals, identify your wants, every time you read it, if it doesn't get you excited, that's not the right one. Simple guideline?
Yes.
Write down something that you have a feeling. Write down something that whenever you imagine, it will get you excited. So that is the guideline. After you identify your wants, simple. You need to pledge your commitments. There's no free lunch. This platform already be able to condense your effort from 30, 40 years of hard work into a few years. You just need to pledge your commitments. So very simple. Ask yourself, if you are able to get the lifestyle that you just write it down, the ones that you are going to have, if you can have whatever you make in the month of October to be your weekly or monthly pay, how many hours are you willing to put in a week? Simple. And then ask yourself, out of those weeks, out of those hours in a week, how many people would I connect per week? I often say our business is very simple. Coffee to coffee, latte to latte. Or tete-a-rate to tete-a-rate. Whatever the drink you like to have. This is a belly-to-belly business. I know about the internet. I know about cell phone. But please, this business is still life-touching business. Don't do the meetings over the phone if you can meet in person. When you share the story, look at your friend's eyes. Listen. And you will realize suddenly you may be able to offer the help, offer the vehicle to your friends. So simple. Ask yourself, how many hours are you willing to put in? And how many people are you willing to meet? That is your pledge. Last but not least, equip yourself with the basic. For this business, I mentioned it earlier, there are so many ordinary individuals can get to the top. We don't need a rocket science. We don't need a PhD degree to do this business. But there are some few basics you need to equip yourself with. The first one, learn to tell the story. Learn to share the story. Not just share your story. Every time you come to the event like this, borrow other people's story. You have a goodie bag with you. Every time, whenever you see a business owner, You can borrow another business owner's story to share with him. When you meet a nurse, you can share other nurse story with this nurse. Learn to tell the story with your heart, with your feeling. I encourage all of you, have a workshop with your team. Try to tell the story to your team to see if your team feel touched. Because if you cannot touch your team, I guarantee you, you will not be able to touch your friends. So learn to share the story from the heart. The best story, as simple, is from the heart. The second basic you need to have is learn to promote the events. Because the effect that we try to collectively to put together in an event like this is not something I can create alone. So plug in to the events. Your company events, your team events, because it's through the events people see the face, see the belief, people can feel this is a life-touching business. The third one is if you want to expand your business, you need to have an SOP, standards of procedures. Imagine, how can a one person like me be able to have a business around the world? We have an SOP. We have a standard procedures. We have a template for people to share during the 1 hour meeting time. After people decide to join our business, we have a few videos, we have a few guidelines to tell them what they need to do. Instead of me telling them in person, we have the tools that the team creates to help us to expedite. I call this, it's called central kitchen. You don't need to be the expert on everything. You know, if I were a traditional business owner, when I hire an executive, I have to go over every single detail with the person. And there's no guarantee the person will last. But if you have a standard procedure in the place, I don't need to teach this person by myself. I can leverage the tools, the procedures, so that the person can learn in the most efficient way. So if you want to make your business big, you need to have an SOP. I'm sure your team leaders can help you on that. Last but not least, this is a life academy. This is not just about the business. You want to aim to improve constantly. The best way to learn the business is not by book. The best way to learn the business is by doing it. If you are new to the business, ask your leader. When I do the meetings, when I lead the team, can you sit next to the person so you can learn? There's a saying, leadership is not to teach. Leadership is to learn. Don't expect people to teach you. When you really have the desire to be a better you, the sources, the resources are always there. So there's a story. I would like to end my talk with this story. How many of you heard about Egypt? Egypt, Egypt.
Egypt. Oh.
Oh, by the way, what if the company take us to Egypt for next incentive trip?
Oh.
How many of you like that idea? All right, Chris and Kiss, the pressure is on you. So there's a story, there's a culture in Egypt. When people live their life on this earth time, when their souls go to the heaven, and there's a gatekeeper at the heaven. So in order to determine if this particular soul can enter to the heaven, they need to be asked, they will be asked two questions. The first question is, have you found joy in your life? The second question is, have you brought joy to the life of others? When I read the story, I feel very moved. And I reflect my journey with this platform. And I'm very humble and proud to share that with you. I can answer yes and yes to both questions. It's because of this platform. So, there's a saying, doing what you like is freedom. Liking what you do is happiness. If you have been looking for a platform, not just money-making vehicle, but truly in the journey, in the process of doing so, you'll be able to find a purpose and meaning and extend your experience to share with others. I invite all of you to be on board with us, because I hope one day you can say to yourself, you have made the best decision because you have found the joy in your life and you have brought joy to other people's life as well. So with that, I wish Malaysia to have the record months after months. And we hope the company will consider